You know, in any modern lab, efficiency is everything. That old saying, time is money, it's not just a cliche, it's the daily reality. But what if the biggest drain on your time and your budget isn't the complex science, but all those simple, repetitive, manual tasks that happen in between? Well, today, we're going to break down the hidden costs of all that manual lab work and show you the incredible value of automation. So, let me just ask you straight up. Is your lab still running on paper? Are you juggling worksheets, scribbling down results by hand, and then manually typing all that data from one system into another? If you're not in your head right now, you know exactly the kind of daily friction I'm talking about, and the constant risk of mistakes that comes with it. And this really gets to the heart of the dilemma for so many labs today. You've got this amazing, state-of-the-art equipment, but you're still being held back by old, inefficient habits. Let's take a look at the challenges this really creates.
I mean, the pressure is coming from all sides, isn't it? You're expected to deliver faster results, but at the same time, you've got a growing mountain of regulations to comply with. You've got to keep costs down, but your sample volumes just keep going up and up. Throw in staffing challenges, and the fact that so much critical information is trapped in different systems or, a bunch of random Excel sheets, and you've got a perfect storm of inefficiency.
This really paints the picture of the two worlds, doesn't it? Over on the left, you've got the manual workflow. It's like this long, winding country road full of paper, handwriting, and transcription, and every single turn is a potential spot for an error. But on the right, that's the automated workflow. It's a high-speed data highway where a digital order flows right from the start, straight to the instrument, and the results zoom right back. It's clean, it's fast, it's seamless. And look, this isn't just a feeling or something a few labs are dealing with. The research is clear. This dependency on paper is a massive, widespread issue. It actively creates bottlenecks that don't just slow you down. They literally introduce errors and threaten the integrity of your data.
Okay, so we've established it's inefficient. We get it. But what's the actual real-world cost of these old habits? This is where it gets interesting, because we're about to turn all those wasted minutes into cold, hard cash.
The financial hit you take from these manual processes is huge, but it's sneaky. It's often hidden in plain sight, just absorbed into the daily grind as, the cost of doing business. But it really doesn't have to be that way. It all starts right here, with just 1 minute. That's it. Studies have shown that all those little tasks, recording a weight, transferring some parameters, typing in a result, it takes on average about 1 minute of a technician's time for every single sample. It seems tiny, right? But let's see how that 1 minute scales up. Now just watch what happens. For a lab that's processing, say, 200 samples a day, that 1 little minute per sample suddenly explodes into over 3.5 hours of lost productivity every single day. That's almost half a person's workday spent on tasks that are completely avoidable. And here it is, the financial punchline. You add all that up over a year, and that lost time translates to a labor cost of nearly 50,000 Swiss francs. That is a staggering 50,000 francs not being spent on actual science or analysis, but just on the friction of a manual system. But believe it or not, that direct labor cost is just the tip of the iceberg. Manual data entry has a documented error rate of 1 to 3%. And those errors, they cause a whole cascade of other hidden costs. You're talking about time wasted correcting mistakes, the cost of rerunning entire analyses, delays in getting your product out the door, and way more painful compliance audits. All right, so that's the problem, and it's a big one. So what's the fix? Well, the solution is all about creating a completely seamless, integrated digital workflow that gets your lab systems talking to each other directly. Now, the magic here is the integration between your LIMS, your laboratory information management system, and the analytical instrument software itself, like in this case, OneLIMS and Metrohm's OMNIS platform. This creates a digital bridge that lets data flow automatically in both directions, completely wiping out the need for any manual data entry. And here's what that actually looks like. It all kicks off with a digital order, right in the LIMS. A QR code is made for the sample, all the test info gets zapped directly to the instrument. The analysis runs, results are calculated, and boom, they're sent right back to the LIMS for validation and reporting. It's a perfect closed loop. No paper, no typing, no mistakes. So, why does all this integration really matter? Well, for starters, you kill transcription errors at the source. That's huge. Plus, Your highly skilled staff are finally freed from that tedious back and forth between systems. And maybe most critically, you automatically create a complete, unchangeable digital audit trail for every sample, which makes compliance and audits an absolute breeze. Now for my favorite part. We've talked about the high cost of doing nothing. So let's flip that around and look at the financial return you get when you actually make the change. And trust me, the numbers do not lie. Just check out this breakdown. For a lab doing just 110 samples a day, the annual benefit is up to almost 43,000 Swiss francs. And the best part? The payback period on the investment is only 6 to 8 months. If you're that 200 sample a day lab, that benefit jumps to over 77,000 francs, and you get your money back in less than 5 months. That's incredible. But let's zoom out and look at the long term. This is where it gets really wild. A one-time implementation cost of around 15,000 francs can generate nearly 250,000 francs in savings over 5 years. The return isn't just good, it is absolutely massive. And as if that wasn't enough, the savings go way beyond just labor costs. By digitizing the whole workflow, you also speed up your internal review and approval cycles by 40 to 60%. And what that means is you can get your products out the door and to the market 1 to 2 days faster. On average, that is a huge competitive advantage.
So what this is all really pointing to is a fundamental transformation in how labs can operate. It's about moving away from all that inefficiency and friction and stepping into a future of streamlined, powerful innovation.
Okay, so as we wrap this up, let's boil it down to the key takeaways. What are the most important things to remember? You can get a full return on this investment in under 8 months. You can all but eliminate costly transcription errors. You can free up more than 3 hours of your skilled team's time every single day, and you can get your products to market faster, all while making your data more secure and compliance way simpler. Which really leaves us with just one final, and I think very powerful, question. When you look at the daily cost of inefficiency, the constant risk of errors, and the massive, rapid return on investment that automation provides, the real question isn't whether you can afford to upgrade. It's, can you really afford the high cost of doing nothing?